Email is a method of exchanging digital messages from one person to one or more persons across the internet or a network. Early email was accomplished by logging into a network computer and leaving a small file with a message in place where a user could find it. And that's it. It was simply an electronic version of leaving a note on someone's desk. In the early 1970s, an engineer named Ray Tomlinson created a way to identify users on other computers. When he needed a character to go between the username and the computer name, he chose to use the @ sign from the keyboard. To send a message to another user on another computer, you used an address of username @ computer name. A version of this simple addressing system is still used in all email systems today. In the 1980s and 1990s, email systems evolved into the system that we would recognize today. Today, billions of emails are sent around the world every day. In fact, email has replaced a large amount of the workload of the U.S. Postal Service. Using email has many advantages over traditional postal mail. Writing an email is faster and more convenient than writing and mailing a letter. To send and receive emails, you must have an email account with a service provider. An email account is typically provided by the same company that provides your internet service. Now, every email address must be entirely unique. No two people can have the exact same email address. The first part of your email address will be your unique name on your provider's email server, and this is followed by the @ sign. The last part of the address is the domain name for your email server. There are many different types of email software on the market today. You might use a Mac program, a Windows program, or even choose to get your mail through a website in your web browser software. No matter which email software you're using, they all have the same common elements and function in essentially the same way. The common elements in email software are the inbox, the composition screen, and a reading screen. The simplest type of email is a simple text message or a letter to another user. However, you can send other things through email as well. You may need to send a document, a spreadsheet, an image, or any other kind of file. This can be easily done in an email using the attachment feature. An attachment is simply a file that's attached to your email message. Now, this is similar to paper clipping a paper to a written message. And in fact, most email software programs will use a paperclip icon to show you where to attach a file. You can attach any file or files to your email messages. However, you should be careful of two things. First, files that are large may slow down the email or even block it altogether if the recipient has size restrictions on email messages. Second, receiving files is somewhat risky in today's environment of viruses and malware. An email attachment is one of the most common ways for criminals to install suspicious programs on your computer. For this reason, be careful of what you send in an email, and be especially careful of downloading and running attachments received from any of your own email. In order to receive a message, the receiver doesn't actually have to be online. The message is sent and stored on the receiver's server until they log in and retrieve the message. In addition, a single email message can be stored in many different places on the internet. This is why it's important to remember that any communication you send through the internet has a very long shelf life, so be careful what you send in an email.